path to greatness begins by walking into the unknown. With the will to win, the desire to succeed, and the urge to reach one's full potential. Go! Today, the Spartan tribe will descend upon the rain-soaked labyrinth of blasted rock and rugged wilderness known as the Black Mountains. For Spartan's elite, it is one of two remaining races as the story of the U.S. Championship Series approaches its dramatic conclusion. It is a bond between a husband and wife, focused on reaching new and unimaginable heights in a sport they have grown to love. It is the burning desire of an NFL legend to continue a lifelong journey of physical conquest and self-discovery. Today, we stoke the fire burning within to conquer the unknown, bring light into the darkness, to achieve the improbable, and prove greatness exists in each and every one of us. This is the Southeast Showdown.
We're here in Asheville, North Carolina for the Southeast Showdown, the fourth of 5 races in the Spartan U.S. Championship Series. With only 2 races left, every point and every position counts. The athletes are going to be laying it all on the line today because for some, it's a chance to lock up the entire series, while for others, it's a last chance to podium and stay in the game.
So far, the 2016 Spartan U.S. Championship Series has been dominated by elite Canadian racers Ryan Atkins and Lindsay Webster, who each entered today's race with a perfect 3-0 record. For Ryan, a 3rd place or higher finish in the elite men's heat will win the series, leaving Hunter McIntyre and 2015 world champ Robert Killian little room for error if they have any hopes of dethroning Ryan and staying in the hunt for the title. In the elite women's field, Faye Stenning's 3 consecutive 2nd place finishes have kept her title dreams alive. But in order to take the series from Lindsay, today, both Faye and Rose Wetzel must claim the podium's top 2 spots, or Lindsay will clinch the title of the 2016 Reebok Spartan U.S. champion. Nestled along the edge of the Appalachian Mountains, today's Southeast Showdown Supercourse spans 9.7 miles and is blanketed by 27 gut-wrenching obstacles guaranteed to torment even the bravest of Spartans. Racers will begin their 9.7-mile trek, weaving through dense woods and wild terrain towards the mountain's peak. From there, Spartans will return to the mountain's base, where they'll face a gauntlet of grip and focus-based obstacles. To make it to the finish line is to survive steep ascents, descents, river crossings, and a medley of obstacles guaranteed to test every Spartan spirit and athleticism. Through an eerie mist at the mountain's base, a battle cry begins to summon the elite men to the start line. What will be the 4th showdown of the U.S. Championship Series? Amongst the throng of eager men are a select few competing for the series' highest honor, including Mexican elite racer Angel Quintero, Spartan wild child Hunter McIntyre, series leader Ryan Atkins, and the man who hopes to dethrone him, 2015 world champ Robert Killian, who enters today's race looking to use a missed opportunity in the last race as motivation to keep his series dreams alive.
I was disappointed about my 2nd place finish in Palmerton. But I mean, sometimes it takes losing to realize how much you really want to win. I definitely think I have what it takes to beat Atkins. I've done it before, but I mean, it takes a perfect race. I want to continue pushing as hard as I can. I need to do it now, or there's no chance I'm going to win the series.
from the start. The elite men barrel down a flat half-mile trail where the resolute Hunter McIntyre employing a new strategy in his chase for series leader Ryan Atkins.
If you're gonna get in a bar fight and you're gonna go up against a couple guys, you always punch the biggest one in the face first. So that was Atkins. I wanted to get in front of him. I wanted to work really, really hard to make sure that I broke him down. And I'm not gonna lie, I was a dude. I cut him off, chucked the elbow into him. And it worked. I mean, I'm not trying to be a football player out there, but at the same time, like, you gotta assert your dominance on the course. The rest of it was just kind of like dominoes theory. Hopefully, if you take the first one down, the rest of them will kind of fall behind. Killian, being the beast that he is, he came right with me. Like an undeniable tidal wave that's just behind you, hovering. We're sprinting up hills. My heart feels like exploding. It was just kind of became that battle from the start. Who's going to be the gutsier guy?
Nothing comes easy in the 2016 Spartan U.S. Championship Series, and today's race will be no different. With 7.5 miles of treacherous Black Mountain terrain and 23 grueling obstacles still ahead, the Southeast Showdown is just getting started.
Why is it important to push yourself?
So that you know what your limits are and you can do anything and break them.
I have 3 little kids. To be a role model for them, I try to push myself as hard as I can so they think that their mom can do it.
It takes self-sacrifice, it takes training.
You don't really know who you are until you go through hard experiences and push yourself through something you never thought you could do.
Without goals, then you're just working towards nothing.
Who wants to stay in the same place forever?
Getting complacent means that you're failing, and I'm not about failure. Anything that you think that you can't do, I think you should go after and demolish.
That feeling of accomplishment is unparalleled to anything else. I met this goal and I crushed it.
With only 2 races left in the U.S. Championship Series, attention weighs upon the start line as Spartan's elite women prepare for battle. Today's race is stacked with the sport's top contenders, such as OCR vet Rose Wetzel, Spartan newcomer Alyssa Hawley, podium regular Faye Stenen, and series leader Lindsay Webster, who enters today's race looking to remain undefeated while clinching the first ever Spartan U.S. Championship title.
All right, Spartan women, how are you feeling?
This race is a big one for me. I'm doing everything that I can to keep my undefeated streak. Having that target on my back, knowing that the other girls start chasing me down, drives me so much. Just so excited to get out there and go hard and leave it all out there on the court.
Go!
Spartan's elite women attack the course with a sense of urgency. For Faye Stenen, establishing an early lead is critical in her pursuit to finally defeat series leader Lindsay Webster.
I got to the river crossing. I just kept trying to watch the other girls, and if it was a really deep portion, I was trying to avoid that. On the first 2 miles, my strategy was to break away from Lindsay. But I know if I gap her, that doesn't mean anything. Lindsay's incredible, and I hate saying this, but she's stronger than me in every single thing.
Faye has every right to be concerned. So far, Lindsay Webster and her husband, elite racer Ryan Atkins, have stunned the OCR world, sweeping the U.S. Championship Series while pushing the boundaries of the sport they have grown to love together.
Neither of us expected to come into this season and win our first 3 races.
Come on, man, Ryan.
had a full-time job. I was doing school part-time. This year, I've kind of put all that aside and I'm just concentrating on racing.
Let's see what's there.
Literally like eat, breathe, and sleep obstacle racing. Reaping the benefits, I guess, of all the work that I've put in.
I'm super proud of Lindsay for everything that she's accomplished this year. I really think that she utilized last season as a learning process to make herself a better, smarter, faster, stronger racer. This year, she's just been applying those lessons and totally killing it. I think the key to our success is how we prepare and our mindsets about training and racing and life in general. Just to try to find the fun in it, not to take it too seriously, and to try to remember why we do what we do. I tend to get sometimes hyper-analytical about my training and my preparation. When she competes, she does it for the joy of it, and she really puts that back in perspective for me.
I mean, he's taught me all sorts of stuff, but the most important thing he's probably taught me is always to listen to your body. Before he was an obstacle course racer, he was a mountain biker for a long time on the Canadian national team, and so he's been an athlete professionally for such a long time. He's always there to motivate me when I need it.
It's really refreshing to see how her approach is different from mine and how we can kind of feed off each other.
To take the point series, it would just mean a lot to us. We have to put so much time into every aspect of the race and, you know, what I can improve upon. Just to see that all pay off, that would be pretty special.
Just 2.5 miles into today's race, Ryan Atkins once again remains calm and hopeful in the face of adversity as Hunter McIntyre and Robert Killian continue to push the pace with the hopes of ending Ryan's reign.
When you're hunting people down and you're not reeling them in the way you thought you would or that you hoped you would, you have to kind of take away positives and refocus on what you can control and just, you know, come up with other smaller intermediary goals. You're able to refocus and stay in the moment and stay racing, then sometimes it comes back together in the end.
Not too far behind.
The gloves are off in the 4th race of the Reebok Spartan U.S. Championship Series as Hunter McIntyre is doing his best to fight off world champ Robert Killian and series leader Ryan Atkins as they head into a rain-soaked gauntlet of obstacles at the mountain's base.
Coming out of the woods in first place right now, we've got Hunter McIntyre. He's headed up, and he is on his way over to the Z-Wall. Second out of the woods, the world champ Robert Killian. He's only got about 50 yards to gain on Hunter to be back in first position. We'll see if he can close the gap here.
Hunter had a great descent, so he was able to put time on me. Get to the rope climb, it was super slippery. I felt myself almost just like sliding down. But once you get past halfway, it's not as muddy, so I was able to grip a little bit better, rung the bell, and I was on my way to try to take Hunter down.
In third position coming out of the woods right now, you can see that Ryan Atkins making his way up to the 7-foot wall himself. He's got about a minute to gain on the leaders, but don't put it past him. He never starts fast. Atkins is all about closing in the second half of the race.
I got to the rope climb. It was like someone had coated this rope in silicone. I slid right down. I'm like, oh, Bracken just did a rope easily and he's running off. And Hunter and Robert were running a clean, fast race. Like, I better get my ass in gear. I just got tunnel vision and grabbed another rope. I was able to get up it and I kept running.
Just ahead, Hunter McIntyre arrives at a high-stakes spear throw obstacle, well aware of the caliber of athlete nipping at his heels.
I don't see Atkins, but I know that he's close enough. And I didn't expect Killian to push as hard as me from the start. He definitely had guts. They have so much history behind him. Experience almost can trump talent in this situation. It doesn't matter how hard I train. They just know when to strike. I know that they're going to me up on these hills. I have to hit this. Spear throw is just one of those things you can't rush. It's like a putt when you're playing golf. You can't screw it up. I nailed that thing. Now it's time to start moving forward.
As the elite men set their sights on the mountain's peak, Faye Stenning has thus far managed to hold the pace with series leader Lindsay Webster as they enter the barbed wire shoulder to shoulder.
Lindsay and I both got to the barbed wire at the exact same time. We're moving together. I'm just looking at the barbed wire, trying to figure out the path that has the least objects in my way. And then I got my hair caught. I was just trying to rip it off. I was like, I don't care if I lose a chunk of hair. It took me so long. The next thing I know, Lindsay gapped me. I didn't see her. That was frustrating. It's impossible to go through these races without having a little bit of bad luck or something not be perfect. It'd be nice to be good at, like, you know, soccer or baseball and not be putting yourself through all this pain all the time. But I like it because I'm good at it, and it challenges your toughness.
While Faye continues to define what it takes to compete in this sport at a high level, thousands of open-class racers attack the same course as the elites before them, each with their own motivations, inspirations, and goals. Amongst the crowd of determined racers is NFL legend Randy Moss. For this football icon, today's Southeast Showdown is the second of 3 races needed to complete his Spartan trifecta, just one of many personal goals he has set for himself in his new life off the field.
I've been in and out of Charlotte for about 15, 16 years. Just a great place, man. I like it. You get the Southern hospitality down here, man, and I'm all about, you know, treating others the way I want to be treated, and that's basically the Southern way. The love that I've been getting from the community, man, has been tremendous. We have a boot camp here that we're running twice a week.
Guys, that's just a warm-up. When you come out here, I don't want nobody to pull nothing to get hurt, all right? We're in this together.
To be able to bring all different levels of fitness on the same field, it's great for us, it's great for the city.
So let's get started, here we go.
It's about bettering people, seeing the smiles on people's faces. And I've lost 20 pounds being out here. Those are the things that make me very proud of being part of this boot camp.
Get your chest on the ground!
A lot of the things that I'm able to give back is work ethic, desire, passion, competing. That's really what I'm about. It's just bettering people and just trying to bring this fitness movement into Charlotte and trying to make Charlotte the fittest city in the world.
There you go, keep working. Here we go, everybody else.
I think the trifecta was more of a personal goal for me, showing me that I can do something. The only thing you just have to do is put your mind to it. My first Spartan race, I was nervous. I didn't know what to expect. You know, I've never done anything like this before. Once I started the race and, you know, the adrenaline started flowing, they got loosened up a little bit.
Let's do it!
My second one, going into Asheville. This is a different type of arena. But I think the nervousness is being able to finish. Biggest thing for me, man, is just to really motivate myself, the people around me, to continue to keep pushing and keep pushing. So I've retired from the game of football, but my life is not retired. I think if you're not challenging yourself, then what are you doing?
Follow all the action at Spartan Race and join the conversation using the hashtag Spartan on NBC. The story of today's Southeast Showdown continues to unfold, with Lindsay Webster holding a commanding lead over the elite women as she pushes her way across the mountain's base into mile 3 of today's Supercourse.
At that point, I was a bit anxious. I had no idea if the girls were 30 seconds behind me or way behind me. Go, girl! And I knew that the spear throw was coming up. I haven't hit a spear yet this year, last year, or any year. I'm so frustrated with not ever hitting it that I was like, this is it. I'm not gonna miss this thing again. I'm sick of missing. It's time. Tune everything out and then throw it with all you've got.
Not far behind in second, Faye Stenning continues to chip away at Lindsay's lead, grinding her way through a gauntlet of obstacles with Alyssa Hawley and Rose Wetzel nipping at her heels.
So I was in second, feeling pretty confident, and then we got to the rope. It was so slick and so muddy. I couldn't climb it, and that sucked. Rose passed me, and KK passed me. So I'm all of a sudden sitting in 4th. I was pretty pissed off. Got to the spear, and I just remember thinking, if you don't hit this, you're gonna have failed 2 obstacles in a row, and it's over. And I just said, I'm not missing the spear. It just wasn't an option. This is going in. It's like such a relief. I have a lot of work to do to get back up to where I was.
While the elite women begin their second ascent to the mountain's peak, Spartan's elite men continue to battle their way through the fog, deeper into mile 4 of today's Supercourse.
Our top 2 athletes are coming in here right now, and we have Hunter McIntyre and Robert Killian neck and neck as they head into the bucket brigade. Now, we all know that Hunter is much better at the strength obstacles, possibly the best of anyone out here, and so it's going to take everything that Killian's got to be able to stay with him on this steep climb.
Seeing Killian at the bucket brigade, I could tell right then and there that he was worried. That's the best feeling in the world. You can see the fear in their eyes. I just stayed on him. Every time he turns around, he just looks at me, this big poof of hair, just frickin' riding his ass. I know he's terrified.
Everybody gets nervous, everybody gets anxious about the race. You know, everybody deals with it in different ways. I'm a professional type guy. I really like to focus. Laser focus is one of the things that I feel like is the key to success. Hunter's a guy that loves to joke around. He's got a lot of energy. He just likes to play those games, and I think that's just his outlet. You know, that's his way of dealing with the stress, the nerves.
Right now, Bracken Crocker and Ryan Atkins are neck and neck for the 3rd podium position. And as we all know, Ryan, having won the first 3 races, the other athletes need him to at least finish 4th or worse to keep their chances of winning this series alive.
At that point, I was trying to motivate myself to just stay in first. I was in first, came out in first, but I'm just like thinking to myself, you know, the race isn't over. You know, you still need to push, you need to go.
Robert Killian and Hunter McIntyre are headed up this massive climb. Ryan has made the pass, but you can see that Bracken has maintained a very close contact with him. Can Bracken Crocker not only save himself a podium spot, but can he save the entire series for the rest of the field by pushing Atkins into 4th position? And it is going to be a dogfight.
North Carolina's Black Mountains remain shrouded in a dense layer of fog as Lindsay Webster continues to lead the elite women deeper into mile 4 of today's demanding Supercourse.
4 miles into the race at the Bucket Brigade, right at the rock quarry, and our women's leader, Lindsay Webster, has just arrived and started filling her bucket. She's won the last 3 races, and it looks like she's trying to take the series today. And here she comes right now into the first ascent of the bucket carry. She's not going to take any unnecessary risks right now. She knows if she trips and she spills, she's going to have to start this bucket carry over again, and she's going to lose 5-6 minutes.
Because it was so wet and muddy from the last few days of rain, it was like impossible to get your hands under this thing. It was requiring so much grip strength that I ended up just like digging my fingers under the lip of the bucket, which hurt like heck. I was halfway up the climb. My legs felt like crap. I turned around and looked back, and like Faye and Rose were right there. I thought I had this nice big gap.
Rose Wetzel making her way into the bucket in second. Faye standing right behind and is chipping away at the time she lost on her failed rope climb.
At that point, I was still pretty upset from failing the rope, and I knew that it's really, really early in the race to be like in that much pain. I lost a lot of fight in me. Mentally, I was just trying to like say, get back in there, give yourself an attitude adjustment.
Rose Wetzel makes her way up the bucket carry. We know that she's not one of the most powerful athletes in the field. However, she's steady and controlled and relaxed the entire time.
Attitude is huge when racing. You have to believe in yourself, and you have to know things are not going to go as planned every time. You have to be able to just bounce back and get through one step at a time sometimes. Keeping that good attitude is a really big part of the game.
I just tried to work as hard as I can and just really dig deep and stay positive. Caught up to Rose. I finally felt like I got my mojo back, like I was like positive Faye.
Rose descending just in front, Faye nipping on her heels. This is a huge battle for second place, and it's going to come down to the wire.
While the elite women continue to brave the physical and mental storm that is today's race, Robert Killian leads Spartan's elite men to the sandbag carry. Just seconds behind, Hunter McIntyre arrives hell-bent on keeping Robert and a first-place finish within reach.
At this point, I'm just trying to stay as close to Killian as I can. You know, he's slowly trailing away from me, and right now it's just suffer city. I just say to myself, small steps, big wins. Small steps, big wins. And I see him turning around, he's getting scared, and I look up and I'm like, wow. Like this is the last of the Mohegans, the warriors running through the woods doing savage stuff. Every single time you hear a little pop or a crack in the forest, you turn around, you're like, is someone behind me? You're always freaking out. Sometimes you kind of just put your head down and you lose sight of all this amazingness that you get to experience. I could be a road runner, I could be a weightlifter. That's not as colorful as the world that we train and compete in. That's why I fell in love with the sport.
Not far behind, Hunter.
While the elite men continue their ascent to the mountain's peak, NFL legend Randy Moss is starting to feel the effects of today's brutal supercourse and the athleticism, drive, and motivation needed to survive a Spartan race of this magnitude.
That was brutal.
I don't want to call the first one in Charlotte easy, but by the time it was over, finishing the 5-mile course, I felt good. Still had energy, still had more to go, but here, there was a big difference, man.
What the hell I signed up for?
You know, today was just a gut check. You know, there was times where I wanted to sit down. There's times when I was cramped and, you know, I was just looking for somebody to come and rescue me, because that's how bad I felt.
Almost dead.
And I thought I was gonna have to sit down on a rock or sit down on a log. Then the more people kept coming by and pushing me and, come on, Randy, you can do it. I wanted to show people that I could do it.
Ring that bell, Mo.
Just to see the different levels of fitness, the different size of people out here pushing and going through that different terrain, that really is what motivates me, is just seeing others motivated and seeing others push themselves. Throughout my career, 14 years, 3 years in college was, listening to people, you can't do it, you can't do it, you can't do it. You can do it. You finish something like this, man, the sky's the limit, anything is possible.
The fog blanketing the Black Mountains is beginning to clear as Lindsay Webster pushes her way through the sandbag carry with the hopes of building on her lead and clinching a series title. Seconds behind, Rose Wetzel arrives in second place and sets her sights on Lindsay. But in these woods, the laws of nature apply, and sometimes the hunter can become the hunted.
I sensed an animal stalking me. It was Faye. Faye had come back to life. And I was like, okay, let's do this. In Montana, Faye went right past me in the sandbag carry. I told myself, you must stay in front of Faye. Don't ever at any point let her pass you. I'm not gonna give her a single step. I'm not gonna give her that inch, because she is fierce, and she wants to win.
I was trying to gap Rose, and I just kept saying, like, okay, Faye, like, run away from her. Go, go, go. But I couldn't. None of us could break away from each other. We were just stuck together, grinding it out.
Every time she tried to put a surge on, I dug deep and found 1 extra ounce of energy, and I stayed just a foot ahead of her. I finish, and I can smell Faye right behind me. I was relentlessly committed to not letting her pass me.
While the elite women make their way to the mountain's base, NFL football icon Randy Moss continues his clash with today's unforgiving supercourse, making his way towards a bucket brigade that will call upon the mental and physical strength learned from his time on the gridiron.
When I seen that obstacle, I said, you gotta go up, down, and then drop the rocks. I said, oh my goodness, how am I gonna finish this? I first start carrying them in my hand like a loaf of bread, and then I put them up on my shoulders. I was going up it, and the cramp and the muscle fatigue, made me want to stop. Just when you thought it was over, it kept going up. I didn't stop. I pushed myself even when I did not want to push myself. I'm ready to sit it down and call the paramedics, but I still had more to go. I did not know what I was getting myself into, but it was like, Randy, you got to keep going. One thing that I'll take from playing professional football for 14 years is just, when you know yourself, you're going to push yourself to higher limits, and I did that today, man.
While Randy begins his trek towards the mountain's base, now 9 miles into today's race, the elite men set their sights on a 2-mile descent towards the finish line.
This is the vertical cargo net. It's about 9 miles into the race, and it's halfway down the final descent of this mountain. The athlete that takes the most risks at this point in the race is the athlete who's going to come out on top. Approaching the cargo net, Robert Killian in first place, the world champion, and he knows he's got to move fast because Hunter McIntyre behind him is one of the best descenders in the world.
I had probably a 1.5 minute lead on Hunter before we started, the 2-mile descent. But Hunter's like a freak of nature.
And now in second place, as expected, Hunter McIntyre. He's got to take some risks through the finish if he's going to have a chance of stealing this race.
I'm smashing into trees, I'm punching down branches, I'm getting stung by bees. Like, the whole world is against me. And I know this guy's going to see me eventually. He's going to be terrified. Right at the bottom of the hill, I can see him. And it's awesome. And we come down into this gauntlet, dude. I hear someone scream my name. Yes, like, it's go time. We're redlining. We're like gazelles with these pumping muscles. We're toe to toe, and then boom, Big Daddy hits. Turquoise.
It was just so heavy today and a lot of mud on the rope. I got it maybe halfway up, had a couple pulls and I get stuck. I'm like pulling, I'm unable to move it.
I'm just yanking on this thing and I can hear him just squealing. He's dying. You know, I always say biceps win races. I think being the best is beyond being an athlete. It's defining something. You never know really what the right path is until at the end of the day, everything's come together. And sometimes it's scary, man. It's that make or break thing. Either you're gonna crumble in front of the world and they're gonna watch you burn, and all of a sudden you're gonna climb up to the top of that podium. You're gonna show them this is really what it takes. It's the next level of passion. Today, it all worked out.
Today's Southeast Showdown lives up to its name, with Hunter McIntyre wrestling first place from Robert Killian, who finishes in a close second. After further review, Spartan officials rule Ryan Atkins' failed attempt at the rope climb and lack of burpee penalty as grounds for disqualification, making way for Angel Quintero to move up to third, keeping the title out of Ryan Atkins' hands and up for grabs in the 5th race of the series. And though the battle may be over for the elite men, 2 miles and 8 obstacles still remain for the elite women as the story of today's Southeast Showdown continues to be written. The story of today's Southeast Showdown is nearing its conclusion as Lindsay Webster leads the elite women into the final half mile and 7 obstacles, standing between her and the first ever Spartan Elite Women's U.S. Championship Series title.
We're here at the final stretch of the course. Lindsay Webster's flying through this wire right now. She's looking strong. But Rose Wetzel and Faye Stenning, they are hot on her heels. Lindsay knows he's got to move fast, but they are literally neck and neck. There's only 4 obstacles remaining in the race, and they are dead even right now. This race is coming down to the wire.
Coming into the Trillion Diverse, Rose and I literally get on at the exact same time. I knew it was going to be a challenge to out-obstacle Rose. I was like, okay, Faith, like even if it just is like a little bit dangerous, you have to do them for speed.
Go, Rose, you got this!
I was pushing every single inch I could get. I've got Faye right on me. I've got Lindsay ahead of me. I was like, whoa, this is an intense race.
Let's see what these ladies across this line work.
I could see the finish line, like right there. I'm not sure how big my gap is on Faye and Rose, but I'm feeling really tired at this point. I was on my first burpee, and then the announcer pipes up, "Here comes Faye and Rose." I was like, oh, good Lord. My heart rate was sky high. I could not get enough air into my lungs. My muscles are going, and I was just like, I'm not gonna make it. It's very frustrating because there's been a lot of work that's gone into winning this series.
Come on, everything you go!
It's just so special to like feel all that love and support. And then it was kind of like, okay, Lindsay, it's time to spill your guts and just leave it all out there.
showdown will be one for the OCR history books as Lindsay Webster grinds her way to her 4th consecutive victory, sweeping the series and clinching the first ever Reebok U.S. Championship Series title, with Faye Stenning earning her 4th second-place finish and Rose Wetzel ending her day in 3rd. They say if you don't challenge yourself, you'll never know what you can become. After 14 years of dominating one of the most physically demanding sports on the planet, NFL legend Randy Moss has taken on a different kind of challenge with the hopes of continuing his athletic and personal evolution.
I bet a lot of people, y'all wondering, does this hurt? Yeah. I thought I was in some good shape, but what I experienced out there, man, it hurt today, it really did. Just incredible to see how these athletes really push themselves to the limits. And I don't compete anymore. By finishing that race, I showed myself that I can still fight. I gave them all, man, but I'm glad I see that fire, I'll tell you that. My hat is off to the elite class, being able to go out there and finish in less than 2 hours.
And today's winner, Hunter McIntyre.
Took me, what, 5 hours?
Fortunately, I'm able to pull out this win. You can't look behind you, honestly. You can only think of what's ahead. To be the champion of the entire series, I've got one chance right now. To go to Breckenridge and just crush it. If I win that thing, I'm the king. But do I have the strategy? Do I have the guts? We'll see.
Today's winner, Lindsay Webster.
Crossing that finish line and knowing that I won the series took a little bit of time to sink in. There's been a lot of work that's gone into winning this series, and it feels pretty amazing.
Overall day, it was a great accomplishment. I got one more going into Lake Tahoe, trying for the trifecta. The day was pretty brutal, but I look forward to it, man. My hat's off to all the Spartan runners throughout the world, man.
I am a Spartan!